You know those influencers who film themselves handing out money to random strangers on the street? Well, you might be surprised to learn that some of them are scammers, including this guy. His name's Jay, and Jay is 23 during this time, living in New Jersey, and he's one of those influencers who got big by filming himself handing out money to strangers, and he has built himself up a nice following doing that, getting nearly 1 million followers on Instagram. But one day in 2019, he starts screwing it all up because bro gets greedy, and he starts thinking, hey, I'm gonna start conning my fans. Now, stealing from his fans is actually pretty easy for him. I mean, they trust him because not only does he come across as a guy who's already very wealthy and successful at business, but more importantly, on social media, he really presents himself as a very spiritual guy, a devout Muslim who would never rip anyone off. I mean, look at these videos he makes of himself looking all religious. I'm praying right where the Prophet used to pray. That's the greatest feeling ever. It's worth more than $1 million. Apparently not, because at some point, Jay starts an investment company called Halal Capital LLC, and he calls it halal because with this, he's going to target mostly his Muslim American following. So he tells his followers to invest with him because he's doing it the halal way, and that he's going to, in turn, invest their money into stocks, electronics, PPE, equipment, stuff like that. He also starts teaching his own online courses where he teaches people how to get rich quick. For the first 1,000 people to sign up, they'll be mentored by me personally. Yeah, huge red flag. Now, investment companies are nothing new. But here's the problem with Jay's investment company. He doesn't really seem to be investing it or putting it towards stocks at all. Instead, he takes their money and just pockets it and puts it into his own personal bank account. And of course, he spends a lot of it on himself. Like he's got to make himself look rich and successful to flex to his followers on Instagram. He also apparently uses it to fund those viral giveaways where he films himself giving away money to random strangers. And so a lot of these people are being handed what is basically stolen money. Regardless, these giveaways are becoming really popular. In fact, by 2020, they've become so popular that like 50 Cent appears in one of his videos. And there you can see Jay handing workers money through the drive-thru. And here you can see 50 Cent rolling up. He also gets the rapper Fabulous to appear in a video. And that's all great for Jay that his videos are doing well. But eventually, some of those people who invested with his investment company, they come asking for their money, and Jay doesn't have it. So he starts taking money from new investors to pay off the old investors. And this is where he gets into a Ponzi scheme. And this Ponzi scheme actually works for a while. But pretty quickly, Jay runs up his tab so high that it just isn't enough anymore. So he comes up with yet another even douchier plan to con more money from his followers. One day, he gets on social media and he offers to buy out his followers Bitcoin from them in exchange for cash. And here, you can see he's holding up a sign explaining exactly what he's trying to do. And he claims he's going to buy it from them for more than what it's worth. So they would be making money by selling it to him. And if you're like, Ray, that doesn't make any sense. I agree. But it's a scam. And scams are built on lies. They don't have to make sense. Anyway, a lot of people give him their Bitcoin expecting cash in return. But when it comes time to pay them the cash, Jay will say that he wire transferred the money, and he'll even send screenshots of a confirmation that he did. But unfortunately, the confirmations end up being fake. I guess he like photoshops them or something. Anyway, regardless, this works for Jay, and it works really well because at this point, the dude has scammed his followers and other members of the Muslim community out of $8 million. $8 million. But the crazy thing is, people love him so much because he's constantly making videos of himself handing out cash to strangers. So most people don't suspect a guy like Jay would ever do something shady like this until here's the thing. You can only not pay people back for so long before they start to get pissed off. And eventually, rumors start to swirl online that Jay is just another internet fraudster who's out ripping people off. And around this time, people finally start reporting him to the FBI. And so, boom, the feds and the IRS start investigating and looking into him. Oh, but it gets so much worse because around 2021, an Instagram troll account appears out of nowhere called Jay Mazzini Scam. And this account posts and bashes Jay every single day. It calls out a ton of his scams and makes him look really bad. And Jay, he thinks this guy started the account, Amjad. And Amjad is 29. He's a former associate of Jay's, and he apparently didn't start this account, but Jay thinks he did. And so Jay hits him up one night, and he's just like, hey, do you want to meet up for coffee and talk about all this? And Amjad's like, aye. And so they meet up near Jay's apartment, and they're sitting in Jay's car talking, and suddenly, boom, two masked goons get in the back seat, and Jay starts driving like they're trying to kidnap Amjad over an Instagram troll account. So at some point, the car slows down enough to make a right turn, and Amjad's like, yeah, all this. And bam, he jumps out of the car, and he starts running. And Jay and the goons, they get out, and they